one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I duck when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit, my game slider boosted. Ain't I don't have to prove shit, Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit, nigga. I know on these news clips, that's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch, won't be around when they lose clips, won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
Week 11 is officially in the bags, but what would I be if I didn't recap these games? You know what I'm saying? Like, I already uploaded the recap video, but now we're going to take a little deeper dive into some of these games. And listen to me. We headed towards, bro, I got a hoodie on, but I don't got a shirt on under the hoodie, and it's like something in the hoodie that's poking the fuck out of my shoulder, and I haven't took the hoodie off yet. It don't make sense, to be completely honest with you, but we not talking about that. We talking about week 11 in the NFL. Welcome back to Kicking It with Saint. I am your proprietor of this evening. Shout out Shannon Sharp. Don't know how he's still doing this Baker Mayfield topic with Skip Bayless. Dude's a buffoon. But I digress. How's everybody doing tonight? We about to get into these games. And I just want to start off by saying this, man. Kelly Rowland. Jesus Christ. Kelly Rowland is one of the most beautiful black women. Well, one of the most beautiful women, period. But I love black women, so I just be putting black women in there. But Kelly Rowland got to be one of the most beautiful black women I've ever seen in my lifetime, bro. And imagine getting to sit down and interview Kelly Rowland, and all you want to ask her about is working with Beyonce and shit like that. I mean, just imagine. That's the first thing you want to ask her. Makes no sense. But you know, everybody not going to respect your greatness. It just is what it is. Everybody not gonna respect your greatness. But with that being said, shout out Kelly Rowland, yo. Shout out Kelly Rowland, bro. I was at work the other day. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna shine on. I don't want to talk about her while I'm talking about Kelly. I'm gonna bring that conversation up later if I don't forget. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Yo, we got to talk about the Chiefs, man. I don't want to disrespect Tom Brady. Tom Brady, clearly the most accomplished quarterback to ever play the game, the most accomplished player to ever play the game. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen. It's no two ways around it. That motherfucker is different. And for all the people who kept saying he couldn't do it without Tyreek Hill, here you are. The motherfucker is legitimately having an MVP season. Jalen Hurts has been my MVP for the longest, but it was based off of the fact that they were undefeated. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Jalen Hurts and them boys because it's only one loss. But the way Patrick Mahomes is playing, bro, like, I can look at multiple teams, right? Like, it's multiple MVP candidates. Lamar carrying his team. Hurts carrying his team. Like, you take these two dudes off of their teams, these is not winning teams. However, Pat Mahomes doing it at another level right now. I'm not saying, well, I am saying Pat Mahomes the best player in football because I said that when they ranked him on that stupid ass 100 players list. And it's kind of showing me that some of these players just don't know ball. Like, they know what they can do in ball, but they don't know ball because there's no way you vote Pat Mahomes not the first or second best player in football. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me when you look at the tapes. Like, period. But, you know, That's just me personally. I got an affinity for Pat Mahomes, obviously, because I just have never seen somebody be able to do the things that Pat Mahomes can do. And one of the things that I like about Pat Mahomes is he constantly heaps praise on other quarterbacks. And I know Pat Mahomes know good and damn well he better than every single quarterback he keep heaping praise on. There's no two ways around it. This dude, to me, is a megastar, an unbelievable leader. I talk a lot about he and Lamar Jackson because I truly think those are the two best young quarterbacks I've ever got a chance to watch in my lifetime. It would take a whole video, multiple hour show to talk about all the things that Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes do great. But right now I'm focusing on Pat, MaGOAT. That motherfucker is just different. When they got the ball, when the Chargers took the lead last night, for one, when they took the double-digit lead, I had no fear that Pat Mahomes and them boys are going to come back. Because, you see, the thing about the Chargers are a team that's surviving off of pure talent. I don't think the coaching staff is good. I don't think the coordinators are good. I don't think the players completely as a team are good. I think they have great players, though. You can survive a couple drives keeping the Kansas City Chiefs off the board because you have a Derwin James who can lock in on Travis Kelce. So for a couple drives, you'll be able to make something happen. But ultimately, Pat Mahomes will not be stopped by just one player being able to cover his favorite player. It's never going to work out like that. And at the end of the day, the reason I took Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to win this division is because of Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what you think about Pat Mahomes. I am at the place where I know it is not a better quarterback in football than Pat Mahomes. I don't care how many excuses you give other quarterbacks. I don't care how many stipulations you try to put on it. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, and it's not close. It's not. If Lamar Jackson had weapons around him, I'm almost certain that I would think it was closer. The fact that Pat Mahomes got that Super Bowl, though, is a big deal. A big deal. And people act as if he don't have that. He about to get a second MVP because I find it hard to believe that he's not going to finish this season off strong for MVP. The only person who I legitimately think could stop him from winning that MVP is Lamar Jackson. Because when Lamar Jackson do what he do at his best, not only do it look good and look like shit nobody else can do, you know they're winning because of him, just like Pat Mahomes. And so that's probably one of the reasons I feel like those two dudes is like, and for Pat Mahomes, it was simple, bro. Because I saw Pat Mahomes, even with Tyreek and them boys, I was like, nah, that's different. This dude's different. I know it's a lot of quarterbacks who we think is great, but you get him Tyreek Hill, and I promise you they do not use this man the way he being used. One of the things I love about Pat Mahomes is he know his bread and butter is Travis Kelce, and it don't matter what people try to say to me, oh, he throw it to him too much and shit like that. He gonna make sure he get his guy. He gonna go through every single one of his reads, but at any point in time where he realized Travis Kelce is open, fuck a read, that's where it's going. I respect that. Your best players help you be great. So you do everything in your power to make sure they get the ball. And it also helps when you have an equally legendary player like a Travis Kelce. I continue to say there is no comp to Travis Kelce in football. I love Mark Andrews. That's obviously the tight end for my team. Look at Mark Andrews. Look at Travis Kelce. It is not the same. Travis Kelce's yard after the catch is insane. Travis Kelce's hands are insane. Travis Kelce's ability to sit down in zones is insane. His ability to get open is insane. His ability to beat different coverages, zone, man, like it don't matter. It is no way you can stop Travis Kelce unless you get a couple drives against him like a Derwin James, you double him, or you put people like Derwin James on him, dudes who you don't really be putting on tight ends, but you got to put them on tight ends because Travis Kelce is just an absolute animal. His last 3 catches in this game against the Chargers was touchdowns. And it seems that that's what happened every time he played the Chargers. He is the kryptonite for the Chargers. And I know people love Justin Herbert, and I think Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. But what people see in him, the special, the young Tom Brady, I didn't see, and I still don't see. I think he's a great quarterback, yes, but I haven't seen great quarterbacks play for the Chargers and not get the job done. I don't know what it is going on with the Chargers, but they're a cursed organization, it feel like. However, as good as Justin Herbert is, I think he would be even better if he was on had a different coaching staff. I like Brandon Staley. I don't think he is a bad head coach. I just don't think this is the type of team he is going to be allowed to do what he is doing. Brandon Staley ain't a bad head coach, but he also ain't a great head coach. And when you a head coach that's trying to become great and you experimenting with things and you call the type of plays or you call make the type of decisions that Brandon Staley make throughout games, and you have this type of roster and you're not winning, you're not going to get a shit ton of time when they going to think to themselves, man, we can find another person to come in here and get this ship straight, especially when you in a division with Pat Mahomes. Like, you're going to get tired of seeing Pat Mahomes win that division every year, but get ready, because if y'all look at how much money was spent in this division this year to try to beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have already locked up this division, and it ain't even Christmas time yet. Just think about that. It's not, and I said coming into the season, hey, I'm picking the Chiefs to win this division because at the end of the day, they have the best quarterback, not just in this division, but specifically in this division, but they got the best quarterback in football. And I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes. That's how great I think Pat Mahomes is. I'm almost at the point where I think I enjoy watching. Like, my two favorite players to watch is Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Aaron Donald. I'm almost certain Pat Mahomes and Pat Mahomes is growing out. Like, this motherfucker at his best is just that. I still think the greatest throw that I have ever seen in my lifetime is that Super Bowl throw where Pat Mahomes just drop back, stroll, and just yoink one off his back foot to Travis Kelce. I mean, to Tyreek Hill. Us a fucking dime. Do you know how hard it is to do what he did? And I done brought this up before, but you got to understand how unreal this dude is. Like, hey, it makes no sense. And the fact that he was able to get with the Chiefs, Andy Reid, the enemy in these dudes. Could you imagine if he ended up with, let's say, an organization that's atrocious at offensive coordinating, like, I don't know, the Patriots, the Jets, the Seahawks. Like, could you imagine if he ended up with any of these teams that's not as offensively challenged, like as offensively forward-thinking as Andy Reid? Like, this is unreal to me. Pat Mahomes is just a different level of great. And when you get him and Travis Kelce together and Andy Reid and Bieniemy, and it's just a crime that Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach of an organization. It really is a crime, because this is a dude who I know who I just feel like would be changing life for a quarterback right now and for a team. Like, the way people look at all these other white dudes who they give opportunities to, that's how I feel about Eric Bieniemy. I refuse to believe he done been around Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill this long, and their greatness didn't rub off on him like his greatness rubbed off on them. Like, to me, it makes no sense that this man is not a head coach in the NFL. If I was an owner, I would want this man leading my team. I would definitely want to give this man a chance. Like, it's only one dude in the NFL who I'm hiring for my head, well, two, that I'm hiring anyways as a head coach of my team, and that's John Harbaugh, Andy Reid. Because them the two, my two, like Mike Tomlin too. I fuck with Mike Tomlin heavy. Plus, black dude, so I got to throw a black dude in there. But obviously I'm biased because John Harbaugh is the head coach of the Ravens, and I was one of the people saying, if you fire John Harbaugh, you're making it's just a fucking stupid decision. Like, when Baltimore was talking about firing John Harbaugh, I was like, yeah, that just don't make no sense, because you're not going to find too many coaches that was able to get the wins out of this team that he got out of this team with the roster that he had over the last couple years. Also, if you don't understand that it's time to flip and find a new quarterback for this team and get them to the next level of their evolution, then that's on y'all, not on John Harbaugh. I don't like it when people take the fall for things that shouldn't be on them, which is why I'm so defensive of quarterbacks at times, because, yeah, quarterbacks do take too much blame and too much credit, but sometimes the blame that they taking ain't even making no sense to me. Like I said, you look at Lamar Jackson's supporting cast and you talking about why he can't go out there and throw for 300 yards. What? Like, come on, man, that don't even make sense. And then you say, we're not even going to get into that right now. We steady praising my guy, Pat MaGOAT. Either way, though, listen, one of the things that I love about the Chiefs is how innovative they are. They don't stop. They don't settle. They like Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. It's crazy. I don't even drink Henny. I think that shit's disgusting. But listen, that's kind of what these motherfuckers, or is that the Grey Goose commercial? Whichever one it is. I don't like neither one. But that's the Chiefs. The innovativeness, the pitch pass that they got the league doing. To me, man, it's a reason why Pat Mahomes done been in the AFC Championship game every single year of his career that he done been a starter. It's a reason. You don't accidentally do shit like that on a yearly basis. You don't accidentally end up in that game on a yearly basis. And he ain't playing with some top crazy level defense on a yearly basis. Because when you got players like Lamar, Pat, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, they make up for everything else. Now I understand it's hard to use Jalen Hurts in that situation right now because of how stacked his team is. I even understand the people who argue against Josh Allen, which I cannot believe how many people is going at Josh Allen over the last couple weeks, bro. If you don't realize that playing quarterback is one of the hardest jobs in America. It just is. Every week ain't gonna be 2, 3, 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, no picks, and just simple wins. That's just not the case. It's teams competing to try to win Super Bowls. It's dudes trying to compete to feed their families. It ain't gonna be a cakewalk every week, even if you the team that people think supposed to win, even if you the favorite. This shit's hard. And I ain't never had to be a NFL quarterback to understand that. So I don't like the constant the hyper criticism that I see of people like a Josh Allen, a Lamar Jackson, a Pat Mahomes. The Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson critiques during the offseason was very irritating because I'm looking at people say, oh, Aaron Rodgers ain't got nobody. Well, motherfucker, Lamar Jackson ain't never had no Devontae Adams, and he also ain't never played as bad as Aaron Rodgers playing over this year. Like, if the way Aaron Rodgers playing this year, can you imagine what would happen if Lamar Jackson played that bad with the Ravens on any year he done been our starter? We would not be a good team because we go as he go. The defense looked good again. Like, shout out Pat Queen. I shouted him out in my earlier video. I just want motherfuckers. I was going to say something. I just want motherfuckers to know I'm not hating on Patrick Queen. When I say he was one of the worst middle linebackers that I ever seen, that is a factual statement. But what he has done, the improvements he has made alongside Roquan Smith is noticeable. Which, listen, I told y'all what Roquan Smith was going to be. I done constantly, and I called him getting traded to the Ravens. I just knew that was going to happen. Listen, I ain't no Nostradamus and no shit like that, but it's just certain trades that just make too much sense. And knowing that the Ravens are a team that's willing to trade for big players, like big-time names on the defensive side of the ball, I knew they was going to be one, and they needed a middle linebacker. Like, I'm sitting at home. I do not work for the team or anything, and I can see. I'm just a fan, and I can see that they need a middle linebacker since letting C.J. Mosley go. I knew they knew that too. That's why you go after Bobby Wagner in the offseason. So it made sense that everything is happening for the defense the way it is when you plug in an elite level middle linebacker. Listen, I don't even care that people going to start overhyping Patrick Queen because that's just what happened when you get a legitimate great middle linebacker in there to do his job. It just make the game easier for everybody else. It's just how it's a domino effect, to be completely honest with you. And I knew this would happen when you plugged in a dude like him because I knew how great Roquan Smith was. That's one of the reasons I really wanted Bobby Wagner, because I know not only do I realize how great these middle linebackers are, I realize what they value to Baltimore would have been, because Baltimore needed a middle linebacker so Patrick Queen could stop being the lead linebacker. But I want to hop back. Oh, and Monday Night Football, it was an ass whooping. The Cardinals got blasted. Kyler Murray didn't even play. I forgot that Kyler Murray wasn't going to be playing tonight. I don't even think they really made that a big thing until like the game. But I want to hop back into the Sunday Night Football game. I constantly talk about how I think they throw the ball too much with Justin Herbert. And I still truly believe that. And I don't understand why. It's like they don't understand that if we win with Austin Eckler can be our superstar. Like, he can be the reason we win a couple games. He can get the headlines. People can love Austin Eckler. And that's going to be just fine. Justin Herbert's still going to be our guy. It's as if they don't understand that. They trying extra hard to make Justin Herbert. It really feel like they got some competition in their head against making him better than Pat Mahomes. But the difference that I see in Pat Mahomes and Justin Herbert, for one, is just pure talent. Justin Herbert is not better than Pat Mahomes. I don't care how beautiful the spiral look coming out. He ain't Pat Mahomes, so I'm tired of people saying that. Two, Justin Herbert ain't got no Andy Reid, the enemy, calling plays for him. He just don't. And that is one of the biggest flaws. And it's now, granted, the Chargers can't completely blame play calling because you did fumble the ball late in the game. Now, you got it back because the Chiefs decided to fumble the ball right after that. And then you go down the field and score. But you make a big play because of Keenan Allen, who fumbled the ball previously, who make a huge catch on 3rd and 18. And so, listen, I just think the Chargers is a team that's constantly surviving off of the talent, not because of they put their players in better positions than everybody else, not because they got great play calling, not because the offensive coordinator can outsmart other play callers. They just are great because of talent. You're living off of the talent of your players, and once you start to do that for too long, players start to really feel that non-coaching when they're going up against well-coached teams. And one of the reasons that when the Chargers took that 27-23 lead late in that game in the fourth quarter with like 90 seconds, I had no doubt in my mind that Mr. MaGOAT was going to win that game. No doubt that he and Kelsey would make the plays, that Andy Reid and Bieniemy would make the calls to win that game. For one, Travis Kelsey is the kryptonite of the fucking Chargers at this point. But two, it's as if the Chargers believe we have to make Justin Herbert better than Pat Mahomes. Like, we have to. And if they continue to coach him like this, they will continue to lose against the ultimate. And they might not even make the playoffs. Like, they are not guaranteed to be in the playoffs. They 5-5. It's a lot of teams in the AFC right now that's sitting at 6-7 wins. So 5 wins is, you're not winning your division. You just lost to the Chiefs twice in the same season. There's a lot of things going wrong with these Chargers, and people going to overlook it because, they got Keenan Allen and things. And I'm not trying to hear, they done had injuries. A lot of players dealing with injuries. Lamar Jackson's players injured for the last 2 years, and look what he able to do. Look at his record when he's starting. Why he got this team full of injuries. Pat Mahomes and them boys got injuries left and right. Got players leaving out through it. It don't matter. I noticed that when you love a player, when these sports analysts love a player, they love to make all these nonsensical excuses for him. The same excuses they not making for Lamar Jackson. The same excuses you ain't making for Pat Mahomes. So, to me, when it come down to it, I'm not putting all the blame on Justin Herbert because I do think Justin Herbert is a great player. But Justin Herbert ain't the quarterback that people keep making him out to be. And I don't think that's completely just because, anything he doing wrong. I just don't think he the dude that y'all making him out to be yet. He could get to that. He could definitely get another dude that I think people overrating is Justin Fields. But we just gonna have to say, I'm gonna just have to be wrong on that. And because I don't see what people are saying. I'm looking at people today talking about they would take Justin Fields over Dak Prescott. Now that's kind of low hanging fruit because Dak Prescott ain't like, you're not asking would you take a Justin Fields over a Lamar Jackson, over a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You ain't asking would you take him over them type quarterbacks. You taking him over Dak, and to me, Dak done been highly disrespected over the last couple years. Like, motherfuckers is acting like Josh Allen and these boys got Super Bowl rings. So I don't know how it's so easy to disrespect Dak Prescott, a dude who win a lot of games for his team. I understand I can't make the argument you take him out of the team, they be losing, even though I truly could if they didn't have the defense that they had this year. Because Cooper Rush ain't winning them games if he didn't have that defense behind him. The motherfucker wasn't even asked to really do anything. So I don't know what this district, like, I never seen a player lose as much as Justin Fields, and people keep saying, but it ain't because of him. It is. Y'all not watching these games. Like, y'all clearly not watching these games. I made excuses for Justin Fields last year. This year, it is so very clear he could be playing better, and there's things that he is lacking in his game. That's why the Bears not winning the way they should be winning, or the way people think they should be winning. But for some reason, people would take him over Dak. That makes no sense to me, because Dak is a far better quarterback right now, and I believe in the future he'll be better. If you like Justin Fields just because he can rip off a couple runs because he never is trying to throw the ball at this point, then that's just insane to me, because I can't build an offense around Justin Fields long term. I can build an offense around Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and these dudes. I even saw people talking about he remind them of Jalen Hurts, and I get that comparison to an extent. But the only reason I even realize that that's a comparison is because Jalen Hurts also used to take off after one read. But Jalen Hurts is a better thrower of the football. Just a pure thrower. And I'm not talking about, he could throw the football or something this many yards. No. I'm talking about leading a throwing-led offense where you have to make a lot of different tough throws throughout a game. Hurts can do that. I don't think Fields is good at that. I really don't think he is an NFL quarterback right now, and I'm not hating on him, even though people are going to be like, you hating on him. But, by the time I blow up and people, was a whole bunch of people watching me regularly, he would have been a great quarterback, and I would have been proven wrong by that point. But I want him to prove me wrong. I'm not hoping that the dude don't do great or nothing like that. I'm just saying, just what I'm seeing from Justin Fields right now, not good enough. Like, the motherfucker just went out there and lost to the Falcons. How many excuses can I make for a dude who just lost to a Falcons team that's not that good, but the Falcons defense looked great every time they knew he had to throw the ball? Like, people talk about Lamar Jackson having to throw. Go look at Lamar. Lamar does not struggle throwing. He played for it. Lamar, I keep telling people, is a pocket quarterback. Peyton Manning done told you this. A lot of great quarterbacks keep telling you who done watch the film. Oh, Lamar Jackson is actually a pocket quarterback. Justin Fields is not a pocket quarterback. He is literally trying to get out of the pocket as soon as the play is started. If you drop back and you know he is throwing the ball, it's limited because he can't throw it but for so many plays, unless you leave people wide open. Because most of the throws that he completed in the game is wide open passes. So, like, I'm kind of confused as if people just capping for Justin because they want to, say they was right or something. But to me, if you a football head, people was hating on Lamar. The film from Justin Fields looks far and away worse than Lamar. Not to mention Lamar was winning those games with how bad some of them might have looked. Fields is not winning. So, it's a little interesting topic to me, man. I keep seeing people talk about Justin Fields being... And when I saw the dude take Justin Fields over Dak Prescott, I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Like, winning gotta mean something. Like, Dak Prescott is better. I don't care what you telling me. Dak Prescott is better than fucking Justin Fields. Like, I don't know, bro. That's a crazy... I don't know what it is. Justin Fields got something on these dudes. It's legitimately crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie. But I want to hop back to the Sunday Night Football game. If you haven't realized, this is basically the Sunday Night Football breakdown. And I want to dive into the game because it was a great game. The Chiefs started off the game moving the ball. They ended up ending it with 3 points on their first drive. Chargers came down. They popped them quick. I think they had like a 3-play drive to score a touchdown on a deep pass. But the thing about the Chargers is you got to understand, they'll give you 2 great quarters, but they're going to give you 2 quarters. I don't know which quarters it's going to be, but they're going to give you 2 quarters where you can come back in the game or where you can make it a game or where you can end the game on them, basically. Because, you see, as good as the Chargers are, eventually the coaching just gets so bad and just become to the point where it's making no difference within a game that they start to underperform. And that happened with damn near in every Chargers game since Justin Herbert been there. The coaching is just not good enough. And I don't know the thought process when they made the hires that they made for these coaches. But I talk about how bad I think Nathaniel Hackett is as a quarterback coach or a head coach. I don't think Staley is nowhere near as bad as him. But I do think he was blessed with a lot of talent on his team. So I can't truly tell you how great of a coach or how non-bad he is. Because I do see him losing a lot of games with a far more talented team than a lot of dudes winning with. I mean, Brian Daboll walked into fucking New York and he already done picked up more wins than Brandon Staley on the year. And he ain't got nowhere near the talent at quarterback. So, and when you have quarterbacks this talented, most of the time, it should not be this hard. Like, it shouldn't be. Like, look at the example. And when I say it shouldn't be this hard, I'm talking about it shouldn't be this hard to win games, like to put together wins. Example. I'm not saying winning is easy. Obviously, winning ain't easy. But look at the Chiefs. They got their quarterback, so therefore, they are in almost every fucking game they ever play. Because they got a quarterback. So they might not know, they might not have a running back, a defensive player, this and that, but they got the quarterback, so they're going to figure this shit out. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They got the quarterback, so they're not going to lose too many games. Lamar don't lose too many games, him and Pat, they got insane records, but excuse me. Much like I said about Pat and the Chiefs, they're going to figure this thing out. They're going to figure out how to put wins together when you got that guy playing quarterback. Same with the Bills. Same with Patriots when they had Brady. When you have these talented guys playing quarterback, You figure out ways to get it done. And you simplify the game to make it so that if he play good, we're probably going to win this game. Everybody else can play bad, but if that guy right there plays good, we will probably win this game. They haven't even got it down to a science like that with the Chargers. And that makes no sense. And I understand people going to say injuries, but even when these dudes is healthy, this team haven't been a playoff team. And for the Chargers, you look at the game, like I said, when they scored that touchdown late, and one of the biggest problems that I see when you talk about coaching, imagine this. The Chargers scored to end this half, basically, right? The Chiefs actually ended up getting a 3. But the Chargers got a double-digit lead to end this half, the first half. They get the ball back to start the second half. If you capitalize on those two scores, you probably end the game most likely. They couldn't. And that's one of the problems with the Chargers, bro. They just don't do the things that a good football team, a winning football team does to capitalize on winning, which is why they lead to a lot of losses. And I truly believe if not for the fact that they played with so much talent on this team, Austin Eckler, Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams when he healthy. Like, it's so much Joey Bosa when he healthy. Derwin James. It's so much talent on this roster that they can overcome, playing not the best coaching and things like that. But ultimately, you can't overcome that at the grand scheme of things in the NFL. It's just too hard. Because you going up against a team like the Chiefs that's so well coached. You going up against a Ravens team that's so well coached. You going up against a Bills team that's so well coached. And not only is those teams well coached, they have franchise superstar quarterbacks that can get them there. So, to me, the Chargers are behind the 8 ball, to be completely honest with you. I don't think the coaching good enough. I don't think the coordinator's good enough. Like I said, I don't think some of the players good enough. To me, and like I said, when it comes to this overthrowing of the football, it's very simple to me. It's times where you could let Austin Eckler have 2, 3, 4 more carries instead of throwing some of these ridiculous passes that you overthrow. Not overthrow as in like overthrowing receivers, like just throwing far too many passes when there's other ways to victory than overusing Justin Herbert. It's like the Bills overusing Josh Allen. And it's like this Sunday they won the game in spite of Josh Allen. Now that's not going to happen too often because we know Josh Allen is the driving force behind that team. But you don't need Josh Allen to go out there and be Superman every single fucking game when you have that type of talent on the Bills. They haven't figured that out yet with the Chiefs. With the Chargers. They haven't figured out how to get themselves into a rhythm where every game we know what we need to do to be competitive and to be in the game and win the games. They're not even making it so that other teams got to be exponentially better than them. They just making it so that teams, if they're not exponentially worse than them, they can still lose to said team. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And I do think they played a decent game last night. I think if they had to play better, they could have won this game by a touchdown or 2 and made it harder for the Chiefs. But what Pat Mahomes knows is not only am I better than your quarterback and we got a better tight end than your best receiver and we got a better offensive callers than your best callers, but if you don't put me away, I'm going to come back and haunt you. If you don't take a 20-something point lead on me late in the bro, I'm gonna beat you. It just is what it is. And so if I'm the Chargers, if I'm the owner of the Chargers at least, I really look into replacing these. Like, you cannot have this type of talented, because I do think Justin Herbert is talented. While I don't think he Lamar, Pat, Josh Allen, I do think he is a phenomenal quarterback as far as like talented and what he can do. But if you put him in a system where he don't got to throw the ball 30, 40 fucking times every game, and he can actually have games where he just turn around and hand it off to Austin Eckler, who is getting better and better. Mind you, the Austin Eckler draft class, he wasn't drafted. But all the people that was drafted in his draft class is pretty insane. Like, Aaron Jones was in that draft class. Alvin Kamara was in that draft class. Christian McCaffrey was in that draft class. Leonard Fournette was in that draft class. Like, it's a lot of studs that was in that draft class that these dudes came in, and he wasn't even drafted. Like, it's a pretty fucking insane draft class full of running backs. But Austin Eckler can do so much for you, and I do think he is getting better at running through the tackles on a consistent basis. I just don't think they give him the opportunity to because of how they run this offense. But how they run this offense is not conducive to winning, to me. And, I mean, you can keep playing this way so people can keep telling you how great Justin Herbert is without the actual accolades at the end of his on his resume. But at some point in time, not only is the media going to stop buying this bullshit, Justin Herbert is not going to be enjoying this bullshit. So, at some point, and Keenan Allen ain't getting younger. Williams ain't getting younger. Like, you done had so much talent on it. And I'm pretty sure the Chargers will find a way to get more talent. They are very rarely deprived of talent. But talent alone ain't beating Pat Mahomes and them boys. You got a real problem in this division. This is why I say Lamar Jackson is a problem for the NFC North. You have a quarterback that don't need the greatest talent in the world around him to win. You got a problem. You got to be great. You can't just hope. Either these boys going to have to be severely banged up, or you just going to have to be playing lights out, because you can't. Listen, if talent won you a division, the Raiders would be undefeated right now. It's as simple as that. You have a legitimate problem if you are in this division playing against Pat Mahomes, because that motherfucker that made it very clear, I ain't going nowhere. And I don't care how great the media keep telling y'all that all you other motherfuckers are. I'm Pat Mahomes. I done been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, and I'm in the AFC Championship game every motherfucking year. I am the standard. I am the opportunity. I am the I'm not a stepping stone, but I am the guy that y'all got to step over to try to make a name for yourself. Like, that's him. He is him. He is him. Like, this motherfucker Pat's on another level, man. But we're going to take an even deeper dive into this game on the next episode of Kicking It with Saint. But we also going to dive into the Monday Night Football game. I thought about doing the Monday Night Football game along with this one. It was an ass beating. Not only was it an ass beating, I did not really thoroughly enjoy it as much. Like, it kind of almost put me to sleep. I ain't going to lie to you. The Cardinals, man, that's just not a team that I get enthused about watching. I'm not going to lie. Every time I try to sit down and watch a Chargers game, I got to make sure that I am low medicated, meaning I cannot be too high, because I don't even fall asleep off of being too high. But when I'm watching something like the Chargers, it's just certain things that start to put me in a weed coma. Watching the Cardinals is one of them, because I don't like their offense. And because I don't like their offense and I know what I'm looking forward to every time I watch them, it's like my brain already telling itself, yeah, we're not watching this whole game. And I try to sit through it and watch it, and I'm just dozing off because I'm like, man, this fucking game. But D-Hop, that guy. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. Join me next time when I go into part 2 or 3, breaking down more of these games from Week 11. And looking forward to the Thursday night games for Thanksgiving. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.